Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Alright, so today I wanted to be a little more vulnerable and share my PCOS story. I have alluded to having PCOS in a couple of my videos. I never really went into details or anything. The videos were about other things, so I never really got into it. I was 29 and I was trying to conceive when I was diagnosed with PCOS. So for those who don't know, PCOS is polycystic ovary syndrome, and it is when you have a lot of benign cysts all over your ovaries, and these cysts make your body produce too much androgen, so too much male hormones, and it disrupts your hormonal balance. And then over time, it can lead to diabetes, high blood pressure, I think also cardiac disease, cancer even, and a bunch of things. And apparently the first symptoms show up when you're a teen, but I found out when I was like well into my adulthood. I had gotten married and I was trying to have a baby when I found out. So it was kind of heartbreaking when it happened because it was hard going through infertility. So I have to say a trigger warning because infertility is a trigger for me. So I know that it can be for other people. So prepare yourself. I'll be talking about issues with infertility. But what I had to go through, I mean, in retrospect, it wasn't as bad as, but when you're going through it, it's really difficult, because you compare yourself to healthy people. Most of the time, you're not going to compare yourself to people who have it worse than you. You're going to compare yourself to people who never had to go through weight gain, never had to go through hair loss, never had to go through infertility. I mean, this is how life is. So I was diagnosed at 29, but when I look at my life, I can say that the first signs of PCOS started to show up in my life when I was a teen. I was about 15 years old, and I had just started wearing a perm, and I experienced hair loss, and it was pretty severe, and it wasn't the regular, breakage that people experience, like their hair going up and up and up and up, like over time, like over the span of a few months. Their hair always kept inching up. My hair loss was massive breakage at the crown, where I had almost no hair. I wasn't balding or anything, but I had no hair here. Like, my mom had to ask my aunt to install a track or two, I don't remember how many I had, because my hair fell off in the middle of my head, and I had to just live like that. And my hair was pretty long, like it was shoulder length. My hair has always been shoulder length. It was like this, but here I had a big hole, and I've had this hole forever. Like, I've had it after, as an adult, I've had it as a natural, I've had it for a long time. That's why I'm monitoring my crown with the locks, because I've had this problem for a while. But that was the first signs. Second thing, in retrospect, I understood that it was PCOS is I started gaining weight all of a sudden when I was 23. I was a pretty skinny child. I was a pretty skinny teen, but I've heard of the freshman 15, when, as a girl, you stop growing and you start putting on the pounds because your metabolism is... My voice is kind of shaky because I'm nervous about talking about this. When your metabolism slows down, you start gaining weight. I started gaining weight, but my body was not stopping. Yeah, so I gained the freshman 15, and I went up and up and up and up even more. And the PCOS, for me, before knowing I had that, the most traumatic was going through weight gain, because people are ruthless, people are mean, people are insensitive. I don't know how I would have dealt with it if I had to go through that as a child or as a teen. I started going through it as a young adult, and it wasn't a great thing. But yeah, life goes on. I mean, I am not just my body. I am also a person. I have a whole mind. I'm not going to focus on my body only. And I didn't like the fact that I was gaining weight, but It wasn't something that was the most horrible thing that's ever happened to me, except for the comments I got from people. And I wasn't even that fat back then. So anyways, I was 120 pounds or something. I had gained 15, 20, 25 pounds around the first year I started gaining weight. It's a lot for 1 year, but it's not like I was super fat, you know, but whatever. Fast forward, I did what I had to do. I followed whatever advice doctors gave me without being diagnosed. I went to the doctor to complain about irregular periods, and then they put me on the pill. And I went because when I started gaining weight, I went also to complain about sudden and uncontrollable weight gain. And they told me to exercise, which I did. I had already joined a gym when I had gained less than 15 pounds. I was like, ooh, I'm gaining weight. Let me join a gym. So I had done all that, and I was working out, and also I was trying to watch what I eat. I wasn't really eating out that much because back then I don't think that I was working full time when I started gaining weight, but I started working full time not long after that. And so I was watching what I ate, and I was watching, you know, not to eat too much junk food and all that. That's like the regular thing most people do, and I did that. So that year I also started dating my husband, my now husband, and we would eat out a lot, but I really tried to be careful. I tried, but I wasn't always like super like I'm gonna eat a salad every time we go out. I wasn't doing that, but I wasn't eating french fries and burgers every time we went out either. So I was trying to be sensible, you know, trying to be good with my body. I wasn't counting calories. I didn't know anything about those things. Dieting, counting calories. I just knew that to be healthy, you had to eat well, which is what I tried to do. So that was in the beginning. And then when I got engaged, I was like, okay, I need to figure this out. And so I had just been prescribed the pill when I got engaged. So I think that with the pill and the diet I started and the exercising, because I joined another gym and they had a killer aerobics classes and Taibo and all that. They had killer classes, and I joined, like, I would go to that gym 2 to 3 times a week to do the classes, and those classes kicked my butt. And within like 4 months or 5 months, I had lost like 25 pounds. So I had lost almost all of the weight that I had gained over the past couple of years, which was about 25 to 30 pounds. I had lost it after I started the pill and after I joined that gym. I mean, I don't know if it was the pill, because when I stopped going to the gym, I started gaining weight right away. So I think it was a combination of the two, or it was really the gym, or it was the diet. I think I was doing the Slim Fast diet. So I would drink a Slim Fast shake in the morning, and then I would eat like something like vegetables and meat for lunch. And then at night I would eat regular food, like a regular meal, but with portion controlled. It worked out. It was a good one. I think it was fine if you can drink the shakes. That's what I did back then. So now I'm married. We've been together for a few years, and I'm pushing 30. So I'm like, okay, so I'm not gonna wait any longer to have kids. So we started trying to conceive after 6 months into being married. I stopped the pill around February, and we had some personal issues in the family, but then I got pregnant in April or May that year. I felt great that I got pregnant right away like that. And you know, we did the whole thing, like we kept it really private in the beginning, and we waited until that, you know, window that you have to wait until you announce that you're pregnant. So that's what, 12 weeks. We did that whole thing, and I lost the baby at 14 weeks. Like I said before, trigger warning, 14 weeks, which was right after that window, the 12-week window that people always try to follow. I mean, Maybe it's because I tried to forget about this trauma, but I don't remember the specifics. But we went to the appointment and the heartbeat was there, and then a couple of weeks later I had like pain, like the most horrible menstrual pain that you will ever experience. And I started bleeding, and then a few hours later my body ejected the baby, the fetus. So then I had to go to the hospital. We did the whole thing, and at the hospital they told us it's not unusual, don't worry about it, it'll be fine, you can try again after your next period and it should be fine. And they gave us statistics like okay, so I took a week. You get a week off after miscarriage. I took the week to rest and to just get through it. And then I went back to work. I had to tell people that I was pregnant and I lost a baby. That's another trauma. And then I had to go on with my life. And then I think that it was a few months later, I got pregnant. So I lost the baby in July, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned it. And I got pregnant again beginning of December. That pregnancy lasted only 6 weeks. I miscarried the baby really early on, and it wasn't as painful, thank God. I guess because the fetus wasn't as formed, it wasn't as painful as the first miscarriage, which was, it was like the most horrible pain I had gone through at 28. So after miscarrying in December, it was really horrible, actually. I was participating to a church event, and it happened at church. It was a Christmas Eve event, and it happened at church. And I started bleeding on the chair, and my husband brought me to the hospital, and that was miscarriage number 2. Very traumatic. So after that, I think that I'm the type of person, when I'm in pain, I get really numb. So I think that numbness just took over. And so my mom, she's wonderful. We were talking and she was telling me she knows people and they advised her to get me to sign up for this clinic. It was an infertility clinic that they were doing at the Royal Vic in Montreal, and I signed up. I called in, or I faxed, and I gave them all my information, and they called me and they included me in the clinic. So I did the preliminary testing. In the preliminary test, there was a ultrasound. With the ultrasound, that's when they found out that I had PCOS. I'd never heard of PCOS before that, and I don't remember ever thinking that there was something wrong with me medically, like that I was not normal. I just thought it was my fault that I was gaining weight, and I thought that it was bad luck that I was going through miscarriages like that. So they told me that they can help me get pregnant. So the first tries will be like non-invasive. They were gonna give me some hormones to help with conceiving and keeping the baby, and they were gonna go from there. If that didn't work, they were gonna do more, but they have to start small and then build up. So they did that. I started in that clinic in February or January or February again, and I got pregnant in April, and that pregnancy worked. I had my baby in February of 2006, my eldest daughter. And actually after that, I didn't need any help for conceiving my other children. I don't know what kind of a fluke I was going through before that, but the other 2 that I have 3 kids. My son was conceived while I was breastfeeding my first, so only like 7 or 8 months after my daughter was born, I was pregnant with my son. My daughter is 15 and my son is 14. He just turned 14. And my baby, I was on Mirena after my son because I was afraid of getting pregnant again right away like that. And after 4 years, I removed Mirena because I was gaining weight again. and I was blaming Mirena for it. So Mirena is an IUD. I don't know, like I'm talking like everybody knows what I'm talking about. Mirena is an IUD. It is an hormonal IUD. I thought it was fine because I was on the pill before and the pill was okay for me. So I thought Mirena would be great for me, and I tried it, and I lost my hair on Mirena. I had, again, my hair loss right here, and also I started gaining weight. So I was like, okay, Mirena is not helping me with stabilizing my hormonal imbalances. And when I was on Mirena, I knew about PCOS, but I wasn't trying to lose weight. I wasn't trying to conceive, so I wasn't really doing anything to combat PCOS. I was just living my life and enjoying my life as a new mother. I was very happy. So after my dealings with infertility, I felt triumphant that I was able to overcome adversities and have my 3 kids. So I was hopeful. I was like, if I can do this, I can certainly overcome the rest of the PCOS difficulties I'm having. The PCOS symptoms I haven't mentioned that, but the ones that I have are hair loss at the crown. I have hirsutism, which means that I grow facial hair and hair all over my body. I have very dark, like very deep sideburns, but when I'm sick of seeing them, I just get rid of them. So I have hairy arms. I have a mustache sometimes. I have these, I grow the chin hairs. I didn't have them like in my 20s, but as I grow older, I have more and more growing everywhere. I'm like, ugh. And I have hairy legs as well. I have the weight gain, like I said before, and it's not the regular, you're getting older, it's hard for you to lose the last 10 pounds. It's not that regular thing that most people around me, like most women, my cousins, I look at them because I'm like, they have my DNA, so I can look at them and see if I didn't have this as a problem, this is what I would look like. And I know it's not good to do that. I know that. But the reason why I haven't been like gung-ho on dieting and always being on a diet, which truth be told, I'm always on a diet. In my head, I'm always on a diet. I just decide when I don't feel like following the diet, but I'm always on a diet. But the diet is not working. But anyways, one of the reasons I don't want to be on the diet all the time is because I see the people around me. I see my people with my genetics not gain weight. And I'm like, you know, so that's the hard part. Being with my personality, I'm somebody that I'm my own person. I don't like to follow people. I don't like to follow trends. I'm not going to be skinny just to be skinny for people. So I'm trying. My husband says, even though I'm trying, it's not really working because I talk a lot about that. I talk about the fact that I'm gaining weight like that a lot. So he's like, I can tell that it's something that bothers you because you talk about it a lot. So I'm like, okay, so maybe I'm not as strong as I think I am. I'm trying to, even though I'm not on a diet, always follow the eating right protocol. But what is eating right? The diet culture has messed me up so bad that I haven't had a piece of fruit without guilt in 10 years. The first time I tried a low carb diet, and it said that you shouldn't be eating fruit. And fruit was like the basis of my healthy nutrition when I was a child because I didn't like vegetables as a child. And so I ate a lot of fruit, and my parents bought a lot of fruit. Me and my brothers, really into eating fruit. Like we ate all kinds of fruit. My mom did her best to make us eat vegetables as well, but fruit was easy for us to eat. So fruit was like important. And I think that with the low carb diet, what is really difficult for me to accept is the fact that I can't eat fruit. I can spend weeks without eating a fruit. It's really, really weird, and I'm messed up about it. So I was diagnosed late 20s. I had children in my 30s. I had my 3 kids. I was 30, 31, and 36 when I had my last baby. So I've been struggling with weight loss. The only success I've had doing weight loss so far is doing low carb, but I can't do low carb forever. If I do a low carb diet for a month, 2 months, 3 months, I can lose weight. I don't lose that much weight. Like I see people losing 30 pounds in whatever, a month or two. I haven't done that. The most I've lost on a low carb diet is 20 pounds in like 5 months. I expected more, so for me it was like a fail, but it wasn't a fail because I had lost the pounds. But before that, in my early 20s, like I mentioned before, I had lost 25 pounds and I didn't do low carb. I was doing lower carbs, but not low carb. You know, like I was still eating rice at a smaller quantity and I was still not restricting food groups, you know. I haven't been able to lose a lot of weight lately, but I haven't been able to stick to a diet either. Mentally, you have to be into it mentally to lose weight, and mentally I am not there. This is my PCOS story. I still have yet to accept it, and I've been diagnosed 20 years ago, and I am afraid of the repercussions like diabetes and high blood pressure, cardiac disease, cancer. I am definitely afraid of all those things. I think about it a lot, but I haven't been able to find the right way for me to be able to handle it. I'm gonna share more if I try things that I find are helpful. I have been looking into what I can do, and I'm kind of a private person, so it's hard for me to even share this video. And also it's hard for me to just put it out there that I am, you know, dieting when I'm dieting or doing anything special. But I always try to eat well. That's one thing that I can say is I always try to eat well. And I am an intermittent faster. Like I intermittent fasted even before it was a thing. I did that since I was young, a teenager. I don't eat breakfast. My first meal is usually lunch, and I do that all the time. And when I started eating breakfast, actually I did eat breakfast for a while, because you hear breakfast is the most important meal of the day. I've heard this since I was a child, and as an early adult, when I wanted to be healthy, I implemented breakfast in my diet. So I ate more than I should have because I was eating breakfast. What is breakfast? You know, like muffins with my coffee and egg sandwiches and pastries. Those kinds of things were not the best thing for me to add to my diet, but this is what I started doing when I wanted to be healthy and wanted to follow the common advice, and that didn't really work for me. I just want to say thank you so much for watching this. It's not my regular Sisterlocks videos for people who follow me for Sisterlocks, but I do want to share other things than just my hair. So if you guys are along for the ride, thank you so much. Please comment below, especially if you're going through that PCOS journey yourself. Don't hesitate to share what has worked for you. I'm into doing things that are not too complicated, not too restricting, and that will not cost money. I'm not interested in paying for like a trainer or a dietitian, or I tried the dietitian route actually, so just FYI, I didn't like the experience. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have anything, please comment below. I like to read your comments. You guys know I try to answer all my comments. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much and have a good day. Bye.